everybody, this is Casey to do our Friday night spiritual talk. How is everybody? Let's see who makes it in tonight. Hi, Divine Universe. How are you tonight? Afra, how are you? Happy Friday. Yes. Happy Friday. Started to warm up a little bit. We went from 100 degrees to 40 degrees to 25 degrees, and now we're heading back up. We made 65 today. Loves and hugs to all you too. How you doing, Tiffany? How you feeling, hun? Hi, Darlene. How are you tonight, hun? Yeah. So I had an interesting experience this morning. My daughter-in-law, who's very introverted, very shy, doesn't talk to much people, put out a Snapchat this morning. She goes, I wish somebody would just wish a job for me. So I sent her back a reply, and I said, I'm pulling my magic wand out for you and wishing you a job. About 30 seconds later, she says, I literally just got an email as you were typing that, offering me a job. I said, that is so funny. That is so funny. I've been like a cat on a hot tin roof all day. I've been going through anxiety, stress. It's just reacting to this Mars retrograde, I guess. Is there anything in particular you ladies would like to talk about tonight first? Yeah, it's crazy. And I think it was Tuesday night. I didn't sleep at all. I was angry all night. And I don't get angry about anything. I said, okay, what's coming up here now? So this Mars retrograde is supposed to cause all kind of complications for us. The internet keeps reloading. That's interesting. Wow, that wasn't good, hon. Okay, so I have a new, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have a new camera, and it does this little reset thing. It seems to be clear, at least on my end. I can see the eagle feathers clear, but it does this little reset thing. You need electrolytes. Yeah, sometimes if I can't sleep, I get up and do magnesium. Lots of laundry today. That's a fun job. Okay, so you guys have any topics you want to cover today? Tons of laundry. It's just me, so, maybe a couple times a week I may do a load. But I remember I used to do laundry during the week after work because we used to go camping every weekend. So I would do the laundry during the week. But that's because I had my own washer and dryer too. That made a heck of a difference. What kind of work do you do, Divine Universe? I thought maybe we could talk about cleansing your aura a little bit. How do any of you clear your aura? I am so ready. I want to get one camping trip in. Okay, so the snow's here. The snow's passed. We had a summer snow. So it's supposed to go back up the 80s, 90s. And I want to get one camping trip in. Hopefully in the next couple weeks. Maybe for my birthday. Consulting jobs. Ah. So that keeps you busy. I used to do technical support and troubleshooting for the phone companies for when they installed phone systems. Hey, let's go, darling. Come on. I just got my car fixed. I have a new tent. Let's go camping. And now the kids are going back to school. There'll be a lot of campgrounds open. There's a couple. I want to go back and see. They have rebuilt one of my favorite camping spots. And there's a new one that I want to check out. A couple new ones that I want to check out too. Colorado's got a lot of things to do. Lots of things. Yeah, I used to get more accommodations than anybody, but that's because I don't know. I try to do things from a positive perspective all the time. I used to get lots of accommodations for troubleshooting. I have my own washer. And my dryer is out, so I just have a little rack. It's just me. Twice a week, do loads, you know, maybe 10 pieces. On a nice day, I hang them outside on the deck. Otherwise, they go on. I have a rack that folds up, but it's got three on two different levels. That's enough for me. It's just me here, so yeah. Okay, so can you ladies tell me how you cleanse your auras? I thought I wanted to do a run up. Yeah, you try to hand wash most of your clothing. I wanted to do a camping trip up to South Dakota, but South Dakota's COVID related illnesses has gone up 162%. So I think that's someplace I want to avoid. Nobody can tell me how you cleanse your aura? Come on, ladies. Are we losing everybody tonight? Oh, you know what? One of my favorite songs is by the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, and you can't buy this anywhere. It's Colorado Christmas. And he talks about being in New York and wanting to, because the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band is actually from Colorado. And they're talking about down in Telluride. Telluride's gorgeous, and just over the hill is Ouray. They call that the little Switzerland. Okay, that's how to put up your protection. Okay, but for you cleansing your aura, you can use sage. Okay, you can use incense. You can make essential oils, little, and put them in witch hazel and water with an essential oil. Yeah. Or you can make crystal water. Put the water in. You put the crystal in the water and put it in the window for a few hours with the sun or the moon, and then put it into a sprayer and spray it. And you could wear crystals, which also need to be cleansed periodically. So how do you ladies ground yourself? So divine universe, it sounds like what you do is very grounding and asking for protection. Now I want you to think about this. So when you reinforce your white light in your body, yeah, one of your Reiki symbols, yeah. You can ask for that white light. Okay, don't limit yourself. Ask for the white light of protection to expand out into infinity for all eternity. And then go in and just fluff it up once in a while. That way you don't have to worry about it slipping up. We have a tendency to limit ourselves. So that sounds like protection, divine universe. So what do you guys do for grounding? What do you ladies do for grounding? Now, and one of the things, this is my point of view, and this was my teacher's point of view too. The Reiki symbols that you use are only tools to get past the subconscious mind. You can tap into that energy anytime you want by just asking for it, especially after you're familiar with the energy of the energy. Okay, you should be able to just feel that energy and bring it in without one of the symbols. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Come on, ladies. Tell me what you're doing. So what I do for grounding is I visualize the bottom half of my body as a tree trunk, and my feet are our roots go down and circle around the middle of the earth and anchor. But they're flexible enough that as the energy of the earth shifts and changes. Yes. Whatever makes you happy is a self meditation. Exactly. Exactly. What else did I want to talk? I thought maybe we could talk about twin flames a little bit tonight. And what else was I going to talk about? Everybody's going through stuff right now. Everybody. Let's pull, okay, let's pull one card for everybody. Let's do roll call. Who's here? Who wants one card? I know Divine Universe is here. That's why I've been doing some research because I've never had any inkling of what a twin flame was until this guy came into my life. He talks to me in the fifth dimension. Let's pull a card for everybody first. Tiffany, you still here? Jason. For the digestive tract. Now, see, I don't use a lot of crystals for healing. But if you're having problems with your digestive tract, first thing I would do is start on probiotics. I would also, Jason, I would also check and see if there's any cords attached. Okay, so close your eyes, Jason, and scan your energy field and look at your chakras. Go down and look at your chakras and see if there's any cords attached, especially in the solar plexus area. Yes, cords. Close your eyes, visualize this. Just scan your energy field, scan up and down the body and see if there's cords that are attaching into your solar plexus area. And let me know if you see them. This is a good tool, okay? Let's work on that right now. But close your eyes, look at your stomach area, your hip area, okay? Look in that whole area and see if there's a bunch of cords attached. Yeah, Tiffany's having problems with YouTube. Okay, so try this right now, Jason. Close your eyes and look at your stomach area and see if there's a bunch of cords attached. I want you to ask your archangels to color code these cords as family one color and people that are inappropriate cords another color. Okay? Divine Universe, it's not just closure. When they're talking to you in fifth dimension, that's twin flame. Okay, you feel it. So ask your healing archangels to color cord the appropriate ones, and one color, like family, friends that you want to keep, and then ask the angels for ones that are not appropriate to you, okay, to change another color. And I specify the colors if you want, okay? I have a lot of people to heal because of me. Okay, I've been studying healing stuff for 45 years because I was sick all the time. The doctors were making it worse, and I was trying to find ways to heal myself. Okay, so the inappropriate cords, ask for your healing team to come in and neutralize these cords, cut and dissolve all ends of them. This is just a quick one because your 2-year-old keeps you strong. Good. Okay. Now, I'm just trying to teach you how to do this right now because you can go in and individualize this later. Okay. But just ask for the inappropriate ones right now. Ask for them to be neutralized, cut, dissolved, all ends. Okay. And then later you can go back in and check and see if there's some people coming in through friends or family that are inappropriate. So it's not just coming into you. They could be coming in through other people. I didn't realize that until somebody did a reading for me and they kept seeing my first husband. Not always healthy. Not always say like for me, for my example. Okay. So my example was I cut cords with my first husband years ago. We've been divorced for like 32 years. And somebody told me, they did a reading for me. They said, this is who I see. That's my first husband. No. She says, you need to cut cords with him. I said, no. When I go in and look, there's no cords there. So she messaged me later and she goes, does somebody in his family do the dark arts? And I go, yeah, his sister. So what had happened is he was going in through his sister and attaching cords to me. So this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have to go in and go to each individual that you've let go of and make sure they're not attaching cords through somebody else. Okay, so if you want to, okay. So is your 2-year-old from your wife, the one you cut ties with? Because she's probably coming in through your daughter, your 2-year-old. Okay? She's probably attaching to your 2-year-old and then attaching to you through the 2-year-old. It's sneaky. It's sneaky. So she's attaching to you through her sister. Then cut the cords between you and the sister that are coming through the sister. And is the sister an appropriate relationship for you? Also, when you guys are cutting cords, I want you to visualize turning your whole body around to scan for cords. Make sure there's nobody coming in and attaching cords through your back. I had a healing done and somebody was attached to my breath. They said, that's sneaky. Okay, well, the sister's good, but make sure, your back. That's people coming in and sneaking into your back. Visualize spinning your body around and seeing if there's any cords coming into your back or your side or your sneaky places. Like I said, I had a healing done and somebody was attached to my breath. What came up was, she's the breath of my life. And it's like, they said, that's sneaky. So, divine, this is where you ask for your healing team to come in and do the cords. You're not doing the work. Your angelic healing team is doing the work for you. Yeah, that is sneaky. Now, you can also ask your healing team. Okay, Divine, I want you to go in and pull the bubble technique out, and I want you to clear that. I want you to put that in the bubble. I can do cord breaking for others, but not for myself. Send them a letter. That's a good one. It does work though. Okay. So we cut the ties that way. I want you to also ask your healing team to highlight any stealth cords so that you could see them, so that you could identify those to be neutralized, cut, and dissolved on all ends. Okay, so let me suggest this, Jason. I want you to take the whole bottles of medicine when you first get them, every one you get, I want you to bless them and ask them to be in tune with your body and not interfere with your chakras. You can ask that. Prayer changes things. When you pray over things, you change the energy. So if you think your medicine is blocking your chakras, pray over them. Pray over your medicines to be in alignment with your higher good. And start giving thanks for, okay, this is another tool you can use. Okay, once you get rid of all those cords, okay, I want you to visualize a bubble around you. I want you to open up your heart. What I picture when I'm opening my heart is this lotus blossom opening up and just blooming and spread all this love out. So I spread it out to everyone in the world. By the way, I'm a little what? Thick? Oh, thank you. Okay, so you're going to put a bubble around you. You're going to open up your heart. You're going to expand that energy out. You're going to fill this bubble with love. Okay? Then I want you to direct that love and healing into every cell within your body. Every cell in your body. So you've got to love yourself, love every cell in your body. And it's interesting because I have AFib, and sometimes the heart rate gets a little bit fast. It seems like thank you. That's something we've been talking about the last few weeks, is a lot of all of a sudden the last month, yeah. All of a sudden the last month everybody's telling me how beautiful I am, and we've kind of been talking about that. Some of the things that brings up for me. You know, you want somebody that doesn't, oh God, I was a trophy wife. I was a possession. I was never a person. Okay. So that kind of brings up things for me. I'm radiating. That brings up things for me. I want somebody that loves me for who I am rather than what I look like, you know? And the AFib has slowed down. It's kind of normalized more since I've been doing this, sending love and healing to every cell within the body. And if I'm radiating, that's probably because I'm sitting right exactly under a light. But pray over your medications to be in alignment with your higher good, to be in line with what's best for your body, and start going through and looking for all those chords. And what are my go-to prayers? My main go-to prayer is thank you, universe, for everything you do for me, seen and unseen. Because how much does this universe rearrange things, do things for us behind the scenes that we don't even know anything about? And just thank you for being there. You know, I'm never alone because the universe is with me all the time. And what else do I say? I just say thank you all the time. My granddaughter said one time, Grandma, why do you say thank you, God, all the time? I said, because there's lots of things, you know, there's lots of things to be grateful for, you know. It's like I was telling a story earlier. You probably weren't here then. My daughter-in-law posted, I just wish somebody would wish me a job. So I said her back, I said, I'm pulling out my magic wand and I'm wishing a job for you. She messaged me right back immediately. She goes, literally, somebody just sent me an email at the same time you were sending me that. I said, the universe just amazes me all the time. Oh, so you heard it when you came in? That just happened today. Yeah, it's a good, and it's like, wow. I'm telling you, the universe is amazing. Yeah. So, and then my oldest daughter messaged me, and her husband's um her husband's been going through cancer, and he's just spent the last 23 days in the hospital. Thank you. So she was talking today about the cup half full, and I said, you got to look at it this way. The cup is never empty. Okay, it's half full of water, but it's half full of air also. It's never empty. And you miss the point anyway. It can be refilled at any time. She goes, oh my God, Mom, I needed to hear that today. I really needed to hear that today. So. So, Divine Universe, did you go in and do you know how to do the bubble technique, hon? The video is under playlists under classes. Okay, so the bubble technique is it's a way to go in and clear emotions, frustrations, points of view, negative self-talk, the story that we tell ourselves. It's a way to go in and clear all that. Clears it instantly. Have you ever heard somebody talk about healing is like peeling the layers of an onion? If you clear the charge around the belief, then it goes away. The bubble technique will go in and clear that charge out so that you can shift things and change it. And it's under playlists and classes. There's one in there for the bubble technique. Who does it belong to? Cutting cords. And I keep telling everybody, watch the movie What the Bleep Do We Know? That's listed in there too. Okay, Divine Universe, what questions did you have? We'll talk about the twin flame stuff. And we'll pull a card for everybody. Jason, I'll pull a card for you first since you're the one that's been talking. So, if you're okay. Jason, do you know how to center yourself? This is a Tai Chi trick. Okay? If you focus your energy about 2 inches behind your belly button and you keep it there, it will help ground you so that you are more stable. You're a bit to the left. Okay, so center it about 2 inches behind the belly button. Oh God, a belly button. You have the general area of the belly button. Everybody's got a belly button. So just the general area, okay? Just the general area of the belly button should be then about 2 inches behind the belly button. That's fine. You still have one, hun. You still have one. Okay? Just focus. If you focus your energy behind there, what they taught us in Tai Chi, they taught us a party trick. If you focus your energy up here in the clouds, 2 people can lift you and you'll be light. But if you take that attention and you focus into the middle of the earth, they can't lift you. Don't need to hear that, Jason. Yeah, well, that's not appropriate. Not appropriate. So, where you focus your attention, um, if you focus about 2 inches behind the belly button, it will help you to stay stable. Okay, so that might help some too. Okay, so Jason, I pulled a card. It's called a powerful move. These are new cards, so I don't know them. So bear with me. It says action, movement with purpose, effort, putting into motion your intention, making choices from an empowered and thoughtful place and positive change. The time for rest is over, change is in the air. This is a powerful time when deliberate action is needed to move your intentions out of the realm of thought and into the material, from ideas into action. How do you approach your relationship to the invisible world as it influences the visible? Do you see the relationship? Do you recognize yourself as a unique whole and worthy being who has a special place in the world, whose offerings are valuable, whose life has meaning? You are a mighty co-creator, so step into that power and see your intentions manifest in the world. Real positive change is possible when you make choices from an authentic sense of self and take a conscious step toward your dreams. Hi, Mari. To take steps toward your intended experience, start first with the way you think. Let curiosity be the focus now and display a willingness to discover new things instead of confirming your past expectations. Be open, be clear about your motives and desires, and set your intentions. Then step into the magic just waiting for you to claim it. Traveling, moving, flowing, flying, whatever describes the changes in your life, know that these are called for now. Act with thoughtfulness and awareness and remember to be true to yourself. What is called for now is doing the thing that needs to be done. All will be better than well. What an exciting time indeed. Okay, peaceful. Do you want a card too? Did we lose Divine? She wanted to talk about twin flames and soulmates. Peaceful or Mari? Whoever answers first will pull a card for you. Yes, okay, peaceful. So how was everybody's week? How's everybody handling this Mars energy? Watch what link? Okay, peaceful. It must be Tiffany. Okay, peaceful. Birds of a feather. Yep, I'll bet that's for Tiffany. She probably can't get back in. Nope, not Tiffany. Okay, birds of a feather. Okay, number 25. This whole week has just been crazy. Okay, And so the key concepts for Birds of a Feather are sharing, community, a sense of belonging, fellowship with like-hearted people, understanding the concept of we before me. It says, if you ever wondered how people naturally gravitate to one another and discover a surprising intimacy and connection, there is a kind of magnetic energy like the invisible ray of light that gently pulls people together to form something beautiful that can be shared. As in the saying, birds of a feather flock together, it comes from an instinctual need for belonging, you might say. We need community to survive, to thrive, to grow. We humans are social creatures after all. None of us are meant to be alone. And that's what COVID is doing to us right now, keeping us isolated. The concept of belonging is playing an important role in your life currently. Perhaps you recently found yourself in a group where you knew you were in the right place. Trust those strands of connection, for now is the time to thrive in the community. What you will find is a deeper, more expansive way of looking at the world by bearing yourself to others, sharing ideas, hopes, and dreams. However long you stay here in this journey of becoming who are you meant to be, connecting to community and participating in fellowship is the best thing for you right now. You are flourish as part of a network of like-minded and like-hearted people. Stick to what feels good and resonates with your heart as true. When you understand the value of this community, you will discover everything you're hoping for and much more than you're expecting. Mari, are you still here? And who else is here? Who else wants a card? Yeah, this Mars retrograde is going to be interesting. We're going to see how much stuff comes up. You're welcome. I show one more person here. Who else is here? Divine Universe, what happened to you? We were going to talk about your questions, hon. I guess Mari's gone too. Wow. It's going to be quiet in here tonight. Does anybody have anything else you want to talk about tonight? You want to talk about Jason? So, storyteller. I pulled a card for me, storyteller. Now, this is the problem that I have. I know I'm supposed to be a storyteller, but I worry about pulling up my stories, whether it's telling the story to teach or if it's hanging on to my story. So, wow. This is going to be a quiet night, huh? Last week we had some interesting people on here that had lots and lots of questions. My destiny. That's probably a question I've been asking for a while. Okay. What would anybody like to talk about tonight? Or is it going to be a short night? Peaceful, did you have any more questions on cord cutting, hon? Yeah, I posted some stuff up on Mars earlier on my Facebook. I'm trying to think of a good question. Well, Mars is retrograding through a bunch of signs. And it's retrograding back through Capricorn and a bunch of other signs for the next next couple months. So it's yeah, going to be bringing a lot of stuff back. And it's and Tuesday night when it really started going forward, I was up all night and I was angry. And I don't get angry. I was just mad all night. And it's like, what the heck? Couldn't figure out what it was bringing up. Now, that's what we were going to talk about. Twin Flames. I can give you it's www.twinflames1111.com. She has a free program you can get. She has a free program that you can get that helps clear the energy. And I thought it was interesting because she was talking about, I didn't think you could do work for your twin flame, but she says you can. She says you can. And everybody's always talking about twin flames as negative, but she says actually it's awesome. So it's just clearing how do you cut cords? Same way. You just visualize going. Okay. You could close your eyes again, scan your energy field, ask all the cords that are coming from your neighbor. Color cord them yellow, for example, and see where they're attaching into your body. And then again, ask your archangel healing team to come in and neutralize them, cut, dissolve all ends. Okay. And like I said, you could sit down and do each person individually that you need to work on. So what I did, because now this is what some of us, about 5 of us have done this now, because my first husband attached to me through the cords, through the family. I dissolved cords with all the family, okay? And then I asked for only the most appropriate, loving people to reattach. That was an interesting experience. First one that called me was my grandson. So he reattached immediately. It took a few more days for my older kids, because my kids have different fathers. So yeah, that was interesting. And what was even more interesting is the energy changed between us. Everybody that I cut cords with and allowed to reattach, they came back in a different energy. They came back in a different space. It's like it cleared something. Okay. It was just in there, holding on, you know. That was interesting. And some other people I know, when I was telling them about it, they went in and did that too. And they said they're changed their relationship with their family. What the hell? What the hell? Sorry, guys, this guy was getting weird. Is there a way to block him? Yeah, I think he's a troll too. I just blocked him. At least I think I did. Hide user. Hi, Georgia Peach. How are you, hon? I should have. I should have blocked him when he told me he had a big D. I should have blocked him then. Well, we were talking about cutting cords, and then this guy turned out to be a troll. Let me. Let me pull a card. I'm gonna pull a card for you, hon. So I'm pulling a card for everybody tonight. Oracle of the Seven Energies. I don't need some guy coming in and telling me that. Oh my God. That's crazy. Ah, Georgia Peach, healing in the heart. That's a good one. When you are wounded emotionally, you need time to regroup and find your center. You may have recently endured a breakup or betrayal, lost someone close to you, or lost an affiliation that you gave too much power to. Perhaps you're watching someone go through a difficult time and feel bad that you can't help them. Maybe you're still not over a past disagreement. No matter the cause of this heartache, deep healing is called for. This happens on its own timetable and can never be rushed. The path to healing the heart centers on I can't say this word. Reciprocity. The flow of giving and receiving. Sometimes wounding occurs because we become too dependent on another, and that is accompanied by the desire to manipulate or control an outcome. Both wounding and healing usually begin within, not from the outer conditions of our lives. We often believe we can be wounded by others. Yes. but we do more damage to ourselves in the self-sabotaging way we think and behave. It's important to take steps to heal yourself and become willing to release the pain of the past, which can be tempting to revisit. It's time to take responsibility for your part in this healing journey. Look for ways you can help yourself and others. Are you willing to make amends if needed, or accept someone where they are without trying to influence their growth process? Healing the heart is in all aspects is your priority now. Nothing else matters. Only beauty and goodness will come as the result. Yes. Oh my God. Daisy, how you doing tonight? You want a card, hun? And somebody, we were talking about cutting cords. What else would you ladies like to talk about tonight? We've already got rid of a troll, Daisy. That was crazy. Daisy. Who else is here? Who else would like a card? Ah, Daisy, the land between. Okay. So we could talk about twin flames if you ladies want, and we could talk about soulmates. I did some research. And if you want, she has some a free meditation to clear energy between you and healing. It's twinflames1111.com, and she does have some free meditations in there. Oh, the land between. You are in the process of change. You know that you were called to it and can no longer be who you were, but you aren't sure what the next experience of your life will be. You are in between what was and what could be in a pupal stage, like during the metamorphosis of the caterpillar into the butterfly. Boy, isn't that the truth, hun? However, you can't just skip the messy parts. You have to endure the unknown and uncomfortable as you reinvent yourself. The thing is, you're not quite there yet. You have one foot in the past, even if you're ready to shed that version of yourself and become something new. You must start redefining who you are in the context of your question. What do you believe is possible when you get to the next place? Can you explore this stage of your evolution to get to know yourself better? The process in between worlds is where things get really interesting. You can learn how to manage your fear, how to stay present in the now, how to see in the dark. Okay? You absorb the lessons offered to you with grace because you can't go any faster. This is a real test of emotional fortitude, patience, trust, and humility. Once you have made this no man's land your home, it will be part of you. Then whatever was set into motion comes to life. This is what you've been waiting for. When you look back, you will grow to love the place in between for what it is where you were being reborn. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so the difference between twin flames and soulmates. Let me find it. Okay. Yes, lots of transformation and change. Well, how much growth have you gone through this year, Georgia Peach? Really? How much growth have we all gone through the past 6 months, okay? Lots of growth. Where is the one? So this talks about the runner syndrome. But there's one in here, she explains the differences. Okay. So she explains, on an energetic plane, you and your twin flame are in an identical frequency. The only two beings in the entire universe who are identical in that way. When you come together, any energy that is cluttering up your frequency is stirred up. You're welcome, Daisy. Okay, your frequency is stirred up so that you can clear it out, be ready to come together in love with your twin at the exact soul frequency only you two share. Where's the one that she was talking about the differences? So a soulmate can be somebody that resonates with you, but only the twin flame resonates at the same energy. I knew I should have marked it. Ugh. I was going to make notes, but then everything just got crazy. Yes. Well, yeah. Well, everybody's going through a lot of growth, but then you've got that added energy to it. Okay, here it is. Soulmates versus twin flames. Many incarnate spirits, humans like ourselves, come together with soulmates at the time before meeting their twin flame with a specific aim. You and your soulmate have contractually agreed before incarnating that you will meet, trigger a release of negative or limiting energies in each other, so as preparing yourselves for your final divine union with your twin. Be grateful for any challenge, as it is a chance to learn about your true self. For every lie or hurt that crumbles, you stand closer and closer to your true divine self. So again, start clearing all those negative beliefs and points of view so you can get there. Many people mistake their encounter with a soulmate for their twin flame. Our advice to you is this: your soulmate is your comparable, similar counterpart. Someone who resonates at or near a similar frequency to you. Your twin, however, is you. Your twin is a complete match to your energy. When you meet them, interact with them, it will feel energetically different than being with any other human being you've ever met. Your senses will be stirred, your intuitive and psychic gifts will start to awaken. Many have telepathic exchanges. Oh, yes. Feel each other's thoughts and sensations. Yes. When one twin is in pain, the other senses this. Yes. Most of you will have vivid dreams about your twin. These are not dreaming. These are encounters in a different dimension, a place closer to where you come from in the spiritual realm. This guy talks to me in 5D. Ugh. Ugh. It's not fun. I'm trying to move on from this guy. But she does state in here that you can do the work for your other twin. But you know what? I put it out to the universe. You know what? I don't want a guy that needs to be fixed. I don't want a guy that needs to be worked on. Come on, universe. You owe me a good relationship. Yes, you've been through hell and back, hon. Yes. Did that answer your question, Georgia Peach, about twin flames and soulmates? But Daisy's going out and doing fun things. Daisy's learning how to go out and be a little more impulsive and do things. How awesome is that? Does anybody believe in fairies? Does anybody believe in fairy godmothers? Come on, ladies, talk to me. So we did talk at the beginning, Georgia Peach and Daisy. We were talking about ways to cleanse your aura. That could be sage. That can be incense. It can be crystal water. You could put a crystal in water, put it either in front of the moon or um, put it in front of put it in the window with the moon or the sun for several hours. You can use essential oils, witch hazel and water with your favorite essential oils. That's grounding. And you can wear crystals, but those also need to be cleansed too. So, oh, so you guys need to give me some topics that you guys want to learn about, because I come in with 2 or 3 topics and then nobody talks. I'm here to answer questions, to teach you some things I know. Um, so I know that the other night, Leo Fire 555 is all excited because he's discovered dowsing rods, and you can ask yes, no questions, and no, Jungle. I don't know that book. Anak Harish. You can use dowsing rods to find ley lines. Okay, ley lines are lines that run through the earth. They cross each other. Say if they cross under your bed, they can cause health problems. Or if you have an energetic like river underneath your bed, that or under your house, that can also cause health problems. You can ask the angels to come in and divert the water. You can put copper rods in the ground to help divert the ley lines to shift the energy. You can douse through your house to see the ley lines would go like something like this or like this. These will move on their own. If you run into a vortex, the dowsing rods will do something like this. And it's like a pendulum. It's just another version of a pendulum. You can ask yes, no questions. Ooh, you're feisty tonight. What's going on here? Do I have ley lines under the house? No. No. Okay. Can you tell me about the book, Django? Could that book be about the Anunnaki? Okay, well, maybe we're done for tonight. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to ask questions. Nobody wants to give me a topic we could talk about. The, I think the Bermuda Triangle is an energetic area. Okay, so if you want to go back to places like Atlantis and Mu, they were advanced civilizations. Okay, and our world seems to shift approximately every 5,000 years. It's like a cycle um, where we have to achieve some lessons, and I think we're not achieving some of these lessons. I think that Atlantis and Mu were islands in those areas that had advanced technology. Okay, and some of that advanced technology, uh, I think, is sunk in that area. That's my object. That's my thought. So there's so it might be a portal. It might be a great big huge giant vortex that's a portal too. You know, because look what it does. Yeah, my dad was fascinated with it. My dad's the one that set me off on a lot of metaphysical quests and UFOs, and yeah, I think it's some kind of portal too. It's either a portal or it's just there's when Atlantis sank, it a lot of technological things went down, and look at how compasses and electronics and stuff all go nuts in that area. So there's something definitely going on in that area. May even be a vortex, that portal. I've apparently I've lived in houses all my life that have had portals, vortexes. So it's to me it was just normal. I went to Sedona, Arizona to feel the energy of the vortexes, and I didn't feel nothing. My friend is over here saying, "Oh my gosh, can you feel that?" It's like I don't feel anything. So to me, a vortex is just something normal. I don't feel any shift because I'm familiar with it. I was probably born into a house that had a vortex. It's Sedona, Sedona. There's lots of vortexes up there. Now there are two types of vortexes. There's a positive vortex that goes up, and then you've got the negative vortexes that go under the ground. It's kind of interesting. There's a place in Utah called Walker Ranch. Oh, you want to do some interesting research. That might be a portal also, because that messes with technology. They put up cameras. They all break down. They've seen giant wolves. They see lots of orbs, all kinds of things. So there's something going on there too. But that one gives me the heebie-jeebies. The Walker Ranch. Yeah, the Walker. Yeah, that one gives me the heebie-jeebies. Yeah. So it may be that we just are not sensitive to that vibration, or maybe we're just used to um, being around vortexes. See, Mari, you're still here, hon. Yeah, that Walker Ranch is something else. They have done all kinds of research there, and there's all kinds of things that happen. Strange things. And the Native Americans have said for centuries that that land was cursed. You know. Now you want to go back and learn some interesting history of the world. Go back and read some of the books written by indigenous people. Okay, they have stories like they say that we're in the fifth world, where the world ends and another one begins. Okay, they talk about the ant people. The ant people were the ones that lived underground before they came out into the fifth world. They tell stories about the history of the world. About 10 years ago, I was talking to some Blackfeet Indians, and he was from Montana. And he said that and I've known this, they try to pass things down word for word when they teach the storytelling. Because you know how when you tell somebody something, it gets interpreted in a different way, right? So they try to pass everything down word for word. So they've been telling a story, because the reservation's not too far from Glacier National Park. They've been telling this same story for 10,000 years. They said, oh, telling the kids, there's a whale in that glacier up there. So with global warming, the glacier has melted back so much, they found a 10,000-year-old whale skeleton in the glacier. Even they freaked out. We've been telling the same story for 10,000 years, you know? So it's, and it's kind of interesting because I remember going in, oh gosh, they tell so many stories. So when the white man first came, they had never seen ships. They had seen boats, but they had never seen ships. They could see that there was something out in the water because there was different water pattern going on. So the shaman came in and meditated and saw the ships. So once he could see the ships, then everybody else could see the ships. So when the white man came in, okay, they tell the story about each one of the 12 tribes of Israel were given a sacred handshake. The sacred handshake showed that they remembered the teachings, the original teachings. So when the white man showed up and they didn't remember the sacred handshake, they said, "Oh, we're in for it. We're in for it." So, and it's kind of interesting because if you listen to some of the Native American prophecies, they don't say this is going to happen. They say, okay, if this happens, then this will happen. Okay. They predicted that there would be ribbons across the country. Well, those are highways for one thing, but they predicted, everything depends on what our actions are, what decisions and choices we make. And that kind of reminds me of somebody I talked to about the Akashic Records. They were saying, yeah, the Akashic Records was telling me that that everything's going to be okay. Yeah, a free will. But the thing is, the Akashic Records tells you what your past is, what your contracts are, what you have learned. They don't tell you that something's going to be all right in the future. So you can't predict what's going on for the future. That's like when I do your tarot readings. I tell you, don't give your power away to a reading. If you don't like something you hear, make a choice and change it. You are such a powerful being that you could change anything I tell you in a second. You can invalidate the whole reading of everything I've told you because you made a choice. There's nothing more powerful than that choice, that free will. So they do not make predictions. They do not reassure you that something's going to be okay because it needs to be based on your free will choice. And that's huge because mankind has a tendency to abuse free will choice. I mean, just look at organized religion. It doesn't make sense to me. If God gives you free will, then why are the churches telling you have to do this and that, or you're going to go to hell? Okay, what's the free will choice there for? Okay, that's for learning and choices and decisions. And we're all supposed to be different, and we're all supposed to be honoring each other's differences. So I was kind of concerned. I had somebody that also told me, well, my spirit guide gets a little bit angry. And I said, okay, spirit guides are supposed to be neutral. They are supposed to guide you if you ask, but they shouldn't be getting angry. If you've got a spirit guide that get angry, then I would be reassessing who your spirit guides are, because they're there to be neutral and to answer your questions and give you an assistance or warnings if you give them permission. There's got to be permission given in there somewhere. And permission could have been given in a past life also. So I'm a little leery of people that do channeling, because if you've got a little bit of a mean ornery streak in you, you're going to channel somebody that's got a little bit of a mean ornery little streak in them. But our guides and our teachers are supposed to be neutral because it's our free will choice. They're just there to assist us. Like I said, those are my points of view. You have to find your own truth in the situation. Yeah. So, I teach some of these, yeah, philosophies. I teach philosophies. It's up to you to decide what is your truth. And I've been studying this stuff for 45 years, and I've heard a lot of different points of view and things about things. It's just, and then somebody comes in and talks to me all night in the middle of the night about tarot cards and tells me the different meanings. It's like I was talking to somebody on the group Tarot the other day, and they were talking about what the devil card meant. And I said, "Hi, Riddy, how are you?" I said, "The devil card doesn't just represent Capricorn or a codependent relationship. It's also the things in our life that keep us from living our lives." If you look at devil backwards, it's lived. Evil is lived. Anything that keeps us from living our life, anything that keeps us in fear, keeps us from moving forward and experiencing life, is the devil energy. Yes. Yes. So if I can inspire you to look things up and learn things, yes, that's awesome. Because we should be learning and experiencing something new every day of our lives. That's basically what we're here for. Basically is what our mission is here in life. When people ask me, well, what is my sole purpose? Your basic soul purpose is to be here to learn and grow and experience life. So it's yeah, that bubble technique is so valuable to help you clear all the things that people have told you about the way things should be. And I'm always going to encourage everybody, question everything, even what I tell you. Find your own truth, you know? Riddy, how are you tonight? What I need to do is, I am probably about 40 books behind. I read everything I can get my hands on. Thanks to you too, Mary. So I'm about 40 books behind. This year is just, it's so crazy. Absolutely crazy. I am an avid reader. I check into everything, and this year has just been crazy. About 40 books. I have read just about every book in this house except for the last 40 books I've ordered. Just scattered energy. Scattered energy. I want to do a class on the archangels and what ray they came in on and what their teachings are and what their counterpart is. I can't. I went through a bunch of papers and I found the old books, the old notes that I have. Just can't sit down to do the reading. I just can't do it. But these are basic things, and I have been wanting to study the Kabbalah more. This is awesome. This is like the business plan of the universe. Everything is interactive. but yet it's separate at the same time. It stands as an individual and it stands as a community at the same time. It's just absolutely amazing. And each level of the tree of life has different angels and everything on it too. And it's like, yeah. Oh my goodness. It's not bedtime yet. What's going on with you? You're jumping all over me. Yes, you're a funny girl. What's going on? Huh? What's going on? I got your tail. I got your tail. My puppy. Oh. So does anybody else have anything they want to talk about tonight? Oh, you're funny. I started Friday night spiritual talks because everybody kept telling me they wanted to sit and have spiritual talks, and then nobody. Last Friday was good because we had a couple new people come in and they had a lot of questions. And one of them hadn't heard of the bubble technique before, and she left me a comment. She goes, "Oh wow, huge relief. I'm going to keep doing this." That makes my day. If I can teach you any kind of tools to make life better, that is awesome. Awesome. Just simple things. The universe is simple. It's us that complicates everything. You know? Oh, you're not starving to death. I promise you. No, you're not starving. She usually doesn't start bugging me until 9:30. That's an hour and 15 minutes away. What? Exactly. And so I was listening to one of Florence Scovel Shin's books. She's got a book out called The Game of Life, and I did put that into uh, the playlist under classes if you guys want to listen to it. Very, very basic spirituality from the 20s to the 40s. Okay, she taught. She says she had a man that never had any problems. He was very laid back and didn't have a lot of obstacles. He had a sign up that says, "Why worry about it? It's not going to happen anyway." He never had any problems. Think about that. Why worry about it? It's not going to happen anyway. How huge is that? And then she had people that would come to her so they would speak the word for her. She says for them, she says, "You can't win the game of life if you don't know how to play it." But she gives some examples, and she put the word in for people, and then she says just sit back and have faith and trust in the universe, and then it manifests. You know, she gave an example of a man that needed $50,000 by a certain day. Well, the bank turned him down, and he was out of town for some reason. And he was coming back. He says, I'm not going to have the money in time." She says, "Just sit back, have some faith and trust in the universe, and know that the universe is going to take care of it." So he walked into the bank, says, "I'm here for my loan." They just took him in and printed up everything and gave him the loan. And they had already denied him. It's just don't limit what the universe can do for you by worrying about things and not having faith and trust into it. And we do put too much thought into everything. And I'm one for that. I'm an air sign. I'm stuck in my head a lot. And from the time I first ever had my first reading, they always said, you worry too much. You draw it to you. So I try to teach you guys, look at it from a different perspective, reframe it. That's like the nine of wands, you know, tired, exhausted, feel like you can't take another step. So stay there for a second, okay? Instead of looking at how far you need to go, reframe it. Look at how far that you have come. Look at all the wands that are behind you. You have come this far. Look at your successes rather than what you still need to do. That can shift the whole energy. And I just love, because the tarot cards are just a story of life. The major arcana are their big things in life, and the other cards are just things that fill in things that you're going through, different aspects of life, Absolutely fascinating. The universe put a lot of thought into that. Don't limit how the universe can give you messages. Be open to listening. Take time to close your eyes and just be still for 10 minutes a day and try to listen. That can make a huge, huge difference. And everybody's been forced to slow down the last 6 months. How much spiritual growth has everybody gone through the last 6 months? Because we've had to slow down, and we're listening a little more. And it is making a shift, it is making a change, So sometimes we just need to look at things from a different perspective, And instead of people telling us, well, you have to do this and you have to do that, No, we need to grow, we need to learn, we need to experience, we need to be our individuals rather than, I'm going to get the hiccups, rather than being these little puppets and not living life. Again, the devil card. Anything that keeps you from living life, experiencing life. Fear is huge. Wow. Fear is huge. Who didn't get a card pulled for tonight? Mari, are you still here? Did you want a card, hon? Just one card. And somebody explained to me, I had something happen with the crystals years ago. Okay. And I was telling somebody about it, and they said, oh, yeah, those are light codes. So I need to start watching some stuff on YouTube about light codes too. That's something else I haven't learned. The universe seems to put things in my way. And I've also, I know I have been invited in to learn more about dragons. Okay. They invited me in, and I was in Arizona at the time. It was a year ago. Oh, and I know they're disappointed in me because I haven't had time to do it. But I have this ring of huge dragon heads looking down at me like, when are you going to do this? Yeah, light codes. Did he talk about dragon energy? They've invited me in. We have all these gifts, talents, and abilities. What are we going to allow ourselves to have? They invite us to learn things all the time. I just need to, I don't know. This whole year is the energy's just been crazy. Okay, Mari. Ooh, ooh, waking the lion. That sounds like you, girl. You're going through lots of growth. You're going through lots of waking up. Regardless of the outer conditions right now, you can't wait for your fear to lessen before you move forward. Bubble technique. Bubble technique. In fact, despite the chaos and seeming disarray, you must be bold. Whatever your trepidation, act as if you have deep trust that all will be well. Nothing is promised to you, but you will never truly see magic if you don't take the risk. Come to the edge of certainty in your life and leap into the unknown. And we have talked about that. You still have no guarantee of immediate success. Still, you must summon your bravery in the face of possible pain, failure, or even success, and own your power. Hey, I may have been rejected. I may have been, yes, but I made the effort and I do not have to live with what if. That's huge, okay? The act of making this leap, no matter the final outcome, awakens the lion within. Be proud of who you are and who you are becoming. No one can take this away from you. What type of courage is called for today? Yes, you are a queen. Only you know, and only you have the power to choose your path. Know that it takes just as much strength and bravery to love and be vulnerable as it does to confront a personal challenge or physical obstacle. So call on your strength and stand your ground. So consciously temper your emotional reactions. Do nothing and trust in your partnership with the divine. Oh, yeah, do nothing. Whatever your choice, you will not fail as long as you act with courage and integrity. That's an awesome card for you. Awesome card. So let's talk about vulnerability a little bit, okay? I went to an Access Consciousness class and they were talking about, one of the gals was talking about vulnerability. If you she goes, people are always going to judge you because you have your barriers up, okay? If you can drop all your barriers and feel vulnerable, yes, okay, then people can't judge you. They can't judge you. They can't act bad to you because you have lowered everything that they were banging against. And the same thing in relationship. If you want to fight the right relationship, you have to be vulnerable in order to experience what this relationship has to teach you. I know it hurts. Oh, if you lose it, look at it from a human perspective, but if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, how much are you learning and growing? It's like the magician card. It's not just the ability to manifest exactly what you want, but it's practicing and studying everything that you have ever gone through your whole life to get you to the point to where you're on now, to know what you want and don't want in your life. You know, there's a story behind every card. Every card. There's so much more than you know than what we're taught about the tarot. There's a whole story behind everything. I'm tired every night this time of night. If I don't end up in Greeley tomorrow going to see my grandkids, then I'll probably come on tomorrow night and do some readings. I'm bored, I'm restless, I'm just, there's no place to go, nothing to do because everything's still closed, pretty much closed down. You guys see the flash of light? I get like, it's almost like this camera does like a restructure. It's almost like a flash of light and it gets real distracting. Ooh, that's interesting. Are you guys particular about the side? Oh, you didn't get to see it? What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. And that's interesting because the lion is also the Leo season. We just came out of the Leo season. Look at how awesome that is. Courage, strength. Who else didn't get a card tonight that would like a card? So, peaceful. Who were you watching that was talking about dragon energy? You got me curious now. But you've been learning that. You have been learning that since we started talking, girl. So I had went in and did some healing work on somebody, and I was approached by a being, and I keep up. Okay, rustling around. That's a cute name. Rustling around. That's cool. Thank you for that, hon. So, like I said, I was doing healing work and this being approached me. And I keep up spiritual protection all the time. Fluff it up, shine it up, give thanks for it, okay? Put it out throughout eternity, into infinity. So I don't worry about drawing negative energy to me. But I was approached by this being that I actually felt like it was very, 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 very ancient, very high level. He almost felt like a dragon type energy to me. And he approached me and asked permission to assist me with the healing on this person. And I was a little surprised because I had never, ever had anything like that happen before. Of course, I don't work on a lot of other people because, like I said, um, I learned healing techniques more for myself, especially after one of my friends told me that healers were the sickest people of all. They learn all the techniques and then they use it on everybody else rather than on themselves, you know? And I kind of got the feeling of the watchers. So I just Okay, one of the books that they took out of the Bible in the 3rd century was the book of Enoch. She records her hypnosis sessions. I don't do hypnosis. So in the book of Enoch, the Watchers are angels dispatched to earth to watch over humans. They soon began to lust for human women, and at the prodding of their leader, defected in masses to procreate them. But it didn't feel like that. It just felt like this was a very, very ancient being, almost like like a dragon energy. The Elohim, the Watchers, and the origins of evil. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I've always studied the angels, and I I don't directly hear from my guides. I just seem to have more of a sense of knowing. I just know things. I've had them talk to me directly a few times to reassure me about things in my life, but I just seem to know things. So I've studied angels for forever, and it's like I have to go back. I've learned so much. I have to go back, and I want to put it into a class. But it's yeah. So if you can recommend anybody else, hon, I would love to listen to them. Alba. I will check her out too. Thank you. Thank you for the recommendations. That's awesome. I like learning stuff. And it's easier, it, lately, it's easier to listen to something than it is to sit down and read, So, and I do have some things on Hay House that I had ordered, and one of them was on talking about the different dragons. They have a meditation to go in and meet your personal dragon. I've done that. That was interesting because I was laying on my bed doing the meditation, and the dragon came in and laid down next to me on the bed with its long tail and like curled up around me, protecting me. And wow, that was cool. That was cool. But Hay House has some stuff on dragons, connecting with the dragons, um, and each dragons in each one of each directions. They've got some classes on the unicorns. Now, the Native Americans talk about the dragons and the unicorns. They said they were high vibration energy, and because they were persecuted so much, they vibrated out of this dimension into another dimension. So that's interesting stuff. Oh, the Native Americans are awesome. I have, they are so tuned in, tapped into spirituality. It's awesome. Awesome. Yes. And I think that that's the true religion because they talk about we're all connected. We're all one, okay? With the rocks, the minerals, okay, the trees, Everything. We're all one with everything. And I had a conversation about a month ago with some guy. He came in, he was talking about consciousness. He says, so you're telling me that a pencil has consciousness? And I said, yes, because at the very basic of that, we're all made out of the same molecules and atoms, and there's an intelligence behind all of that. All of it. It's just a different type of consciousness. And this twin flame was kind of talking about that too. Okay, first of all, you must understand we are all energetic beings. Science now testifies to the fact that the world we live in consists of grids of particles vibrating at different frequencies. A table is not solid. It is a mass of molecules with empty spaces between, and only appear to the human senses as solid. We are all energy. The world you live in, and the universe is energy. Everything is particles and vibration, energy and motion, us included. A human being is not simply a body machine, as previous ideas tended to suggest. We're infinitely complex bioorganisms with a complicated consciousness that science still hasn't been fully able to map out. So that's, yeah. And it's funny because usually when you're going to learn something, it usually appears a few days before you're going to learn it. I think my ancestors were all Celtic. Shamans and druids, and it's kind of funny because if I look at Ancestry.com, a lot of my cousins have fairy names. I said that's funny. Yeah, I'm sure this gift runs strong through the whole family. I see it coming out in my grandkids a lot stronger. So I told my granddaughter, I said, sit down. I said, sit down and ask your angels to show you what your totem is before you go to bed. And her 5-year-old son was listening. I said, ask the angels to show you what your totem is before you go to bed. So he gets up the next morning and he tells his mom, Mom, I did what Grandma said. I asked the angels to show me what my totem is. He goes, I'm a deer. And it's so funny because if you look at the Native American book I have on deer, it fits him perfect. It just fits him perfect. So she didn't tell me for about a month. She goes, oh, I didn't do it. She says, but Bowie did. So, and okay, so this is my granddaughter, okay? You ask your angels to show you in your dreams what your totems are, okay? And ask to be able to remember your dreams. So I told her about 4 months later, have you asked what your totem is yet? And she goes, no. And I said, chicken. Oh my God. She goes, Grandma, you do not get to pick what my totem is. I was calling her chicken. I was calling her chicken because she was like scared to ask. So she runs over to her sister and she goes, Grandma asked me what my totem is. And I told her I didn't know yet. And she told me. She called me a chicken. She goes, Grandma does not get to pick what my totem is. I said, "Oh my gosh." I just had to laugh. No, I was calling you a chicken because you're afraid to ask. Oh, so, it's always fun to see how people react. But I if you watch What the Bleep Do We Know, okay, that's in the playlist under classes. It's an hour and a half movie and it talks about energy, talks about how we create our reality, how we can shift our energy. Like if you were on here earlier when I was telling that Jason um, to pray over his medications. Yes. Well, she's in her 20s. She's not, yeah, the 5-year-old child was open and receptive to it and found out what his totem was. But the 24-year-old didn't do it, you know. So what the bleep, it talks about, yeah, like how prayer changes things, okay? So it talks about Dr. Emoto's work where he took water from the most polluted lake in the world and tried to freeze it. It wouldn't freeze, it wouldn't form a crystal. A Buddhist monk came in and said a prayer over the same water. He froze it again and it formed a beautiful crystal. Prayer changes things. Okay? There's an intelligence out there that responds to what our intent is. Okay? If you play heavy metal music, it won't form a crystal. But if you do like Beethoven or Bach or something, it will form a beautiful crystal. You know, a shift in energy, a prayer will change things. And I was talking about this the other night. One of the most interesting things I thought was, okay, every crystal, every snowflake is different. But if you put love in 7 different languages on 7 different pieces of water, they all formed a very, very similar crystal, even though they were in different languages. You know, it's a universal language. Love is just a universal language. And this is what I was telling Jason earlier. Visualize all this love coming out from your heart into this bubble, and then take all the love that you filled this bubble with and send all this love and this healing into every cell in your body. Every cell in your body. And you can make a huge difference. Huge difference. And so I'm going to tell you guys again, take the time to watch What the Bleep Do We Know. This is pre-secret. Okay, The Secret talks about ways to go in and change your reality, but what the bleep do we know is the energy underneath it. It shows us how there is an intelligence out there that responds to everything. If it knows it's being watched, it's going to react in one way. If it knows that it's not being watched, it's going to react in a totally different way. It's responding to expectations. That's one of the things that's a problem with these clinical trials. 99% of the time, the clinical trials will respond to the person's point of view of how it should be. Okay? because it's knowing it's being observed. It's picking up on the intent of the person. So the clinical trials are being influenced by the person's how they want the clinical trials to be. And there's books out there, The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton and The Molecules of Emotion by Candace Pert. They talk about how our illnesses, how our body responds to our thoughts too. That's like somebody that's told they have cancer. If they believe that the doctors are the end all be all of everything, their immune system's going to shut down immediately and they're going to die. But if you have a perky little person that says, oh no, I'm going to beat this, then they're going to beat it. You know? So your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs, The Molecules of Emotions by Candace Pert. And the other one is the Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. Greg Braden also has some interesting books out there too, but they're not so much on this stuff, okay? And if you go in and look at, I put one video of Joe Dispenza in the classes. He talks about how we can create neural pathways by learning something new. The brain says, yes, Candace Pert. By learning something new every day, all the time, we open up new neural pathways all the time. Okay. And he has meditations to go in and change the neural pathways. The brain says, oh, we don't know how to do that. We need to create a neural pathway to do that. And this is one of the things that I tried to teach you guys early on, is you can visualize, when you want an answer to something, you can visualize coming out of your head, those neural pathways coming down here, and then the neural pathways coming up from the heart and meeting here to do a heart-mind decision. But always follow your gut feeling. Your body will know before your brain does. Pay attention to your body. Know thyself. Know your body. Know your emotions. Know what you like and don't like. That's how we create our reality. So have you guys had enough of me for tonight? So on the Native American theme, like I said, they believe we are. Yes. I had a guy that was not a nice guy. My body knew before I did. Okay, I'm pretty level-headed. I'm pretty serious, and nothing usually bothers me. But my body went into panic mode one time when this man wanted to come with his daughter to meet me. Went into absolutely panic mode, and I don't do that. My body was telling me this was not a nice person. Your body will immediately react. That's why I try to teach you. If you close your eyes and relax and think of something that makes you absolutely happy, your body's going to be relaxed. It's going to be happy, joyful. And then if you visualize something that you don't like, pay attention to the reaction in your body. This can be huge. This could be a lifesaver, because if you walk into a situation, you can ask your body, pay attention to your body, what it's trying to tell you. Okay? I tell my grandsons stuff. One of my grandsons brought up the other night, he goes, Grandma always said if we're stuck out in the lake and we don't know how to swim, just float on your back. Just relax and float on your back. And you're not going to drown, he says, because you could just float for hours, you know. And I said, oh my gosh, you remember that? And I also told him, if you ever go to a party or anything and you walk in the door and you get a funny feeling in your stomach, get the hell out of there. My grandson remembered that. He says, I could almost hear you in my head telling me, pay attention to your body and get the hell out of there. He says, I felt funny and I got out of there. They had a shooting at that party 2 hours later. He says, Grandma, thank you for telling me that. Pay attention to your gut. Pay attention to your body. I was reading a book by Sylvia Browne. She was one of the greatest psychics around. She used to, her spirit guides would tell her something and she would be resistant and she would do just the opposite or do what the hell she wanted to do, okay? And then she'd go back and she'd say, okay, you were right, you know. Yeah, yeah. You've got to pay attention. And I was, you know, and this is one of the things that I recommend everybody to read the book, The Dark Side of the Light Chaser. She talks about people that do not believe in killing for any reason are the people that serial killers pick up on as their victims. Wow. Yeah. Serial killers seem to have a sense of knowing, well, this person will not kill, so that leaves you open to being a victim. They just seem to have a sense of that, you know? Now, I asked a couple people, I said, would you kill somebody to defend yourself? And they said no. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Would you kill to defend yourself? And they say no. Well, that makes them a victim. Would you kill to protect your children? No, because it's not right to take somebody else's life, but it's all right for them to take your life. You know, there's a little bit of a different perspective. There's a little bit of a different energy in there, you know? Yeah, I need to start carrying some pepper spray or something. You know what I think is interesting is I've got a 9-month-old granddaughter. Okay, Lily, we're not doing readings tonight. We're doing spiritual talk. Okay, so I have crystals. Okay, these are real crystals. Okay, and then I have this bracelet. It's wooden with the little dragon on it. What's funny is my granddaughter only wants the real crystals. Same thing here. Okay, this is a healing tool. Okay, but she goes for the real crystals. So I wonder what she's picking up on. What energy, Is she picking up on? Yeah, I need to note to self pepper spray. So I have a healing tool on my keys. This is what made me think of that. I just got this healing tool and put them on my keys. She grabbed my keys the other day and went directly for the healing tool. To heck with the keys. No, I want this. She wanted the healing tool. Yeah. And then I have another grandson that told his dad, Dad, who's all these people in the house? Who's that man standing in my bedroom? He's scaring me. So he kind of went in a panic and got a hold of my friend because Mom doesn't know anything. And she says, you tell him to tell them that I'm too young to help you. Leave me alone. The mom had a fit and she goes, no, that's like giving permission. No, don't tell him that. But it's how many times when we're little, and I was talking about this the other night, I had to have seen things when I was little because I used to sleep with the blankets over my head, even in the middle of the summer, up until I got married. And I'd never put my foot off the bed because I was afraid something was going to grab my foot. But I always slept with blankets over my head, even in the I don't care, 100 degrees at night. Slept with something over my head all the time. I was always scared about the wolves under my bed. That was an interesting one. Worried about the wolves under my bed. And I think that house was on a vortex because that's the house I was born into. Because the next house I bought also was on a vortex. That was an interesting experience because there was stuff coming in and out of the house all the time that people experienced like crazy. When you read about the Walker Ranch, yeah, I didn't have big wolves, but I had little like elves or dwarves or something all over the place. And shadows walking through the house. And then when I moved out on south of Elizabeth, I had 40 acres. And one of the gals came out one time, she says, you have a bunch of Native American children running around all over. Lots of Native American children running. This stupid fly's been after me all day. I don't like to kill things, but it's getting to be too much. I know I'm not going to hit you, I promise. Oh, yeah. Do you guys ever listen to George Noory at night? I used to listen every night when Art Bell was doing it. And for years afterwards. He talks about a lot of paranormal stuff. Art Bell started, I was driving to work one morning at 4:30 in the morning, and they were talking about these great big green bowls, these green fireballs or whatever, with a blue tail. Okay, so I'm driving west going toward the Rocky Mountains, and I see this green bowl shaped like this, and it had a blue tail sticking out of the middle of that. And I freaked out. I said, oh my God, because some of those things you take as a grain of salt, not knowing whether to believe it or not. I saw it. I saw it. And the first sweat lodge I ever went to was four of us women. It was a medicine woman. Her husband was doing the firestones between rounds, and that sweat lodge was geared totally to me for my healing. It was just amazing. The sisters were the medicine woman and her sister were twins, and they gave prophecy in poetry. And I'm sitting there. There's each one of us in each one of the four directions. It's totally dark, totally dark. You're looking around. It's totally black. Nothing, no peak of light anywhere. And there's a blue flame about this tall sitting next to me. So I've had some interesting paranormal experiences. It's just, they told me it was a mother part of God, but I seem to have an infinity. Archangel Michael is a blue ray, and Archangel Metatron is an even lighter blue. And he's definitely let me know that he's in my life. So, yeah, you read about the Walker Ranch as much as you can and see if it doesn't give you the creeps. I try not to be scared about things because that just draws more negative energy to you and it feeds them. But some things, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you just need an awareness that it exists, that it happens. I think that's one of the things that kind of gave me the creeps here a couple years ago is there's a place in Georgia or something where they have like a tunnel that goes deep into the ground, and it sounds like a bunch of demons moaning and groaning and stuff. That would freak me out. But the thing is, we're not supposed to get scared because, like I said, then you give power to the other side. So, or driving down in the Taos, New Mexico area, they have a loud humming noise that they have no idea where it comes from. But there's lots of rumors about UFOs living inside of a mountain down there too. I don't. I have never ever watched horror movies. Never have been able to sit down and watch horror movies. And then with my first husband, uh, I seen some. You know, his sister did witchcraft. His ex-wife did witchcraft. His ex-mother-in-law did witchcraft. I have seen and experienced some things that would make your hair stand on end. That's why I won't touch. I won't touch the dark side at all. Too scary. Too, yeah, not my energy. Not where I want to be. Yeah, not at all. We were driving through the desert back before the Indian reservation was so popular. I mean, it hadn't grown as much. And my first husband was driving, and he had just woke me up. It's funny, they would just both husbands. They would just wake me up to talk to them in the middle of the night and something would happen. So we're driving along. In the middle of the road, there's a 4-foot owl standing there in the middle of the road, and he was going so fast that he just hit it. Where do you ever see a 4-foot owl? What was weird the next day is apparently they found his ex-wife's aunt in the middle of the road. She had been hit by a car in the middle of the desert. Always wondered if that was her that we hit. There are shapeshifters out there. Yeah. But the thing is, okay, so this was a lesson for me. So Art Bell was talking to somebody one night, and he was talking to a guy. Oh yeah, there are some owls that are out during the day. So this guy called into Art Bell's show one night. This was a major lesson for me, okay? He was saying that him and a group of hundreds of people around the world were doing rituals to bring Lucifer back into our dimension. They said Lucifer was the father of mankind, and he was cast into another dimension, and they were trying to bring him back into this dimension. I freaked out. I said, these people don't know what they're doing, right? But then when you think about it, sometimes you need to be aware of something. If you bury your head in the sand, you're not going to have an awareness and you can't change something. So this is why we need to look at our fears. Why does it scare us? What do I need to be aware of? What's it trying to tell me? So it's like, okay, if you don't have an awareness of what's going on, then you can't do prayers and things to counteract the energy. So my friend asked me a few years ago, why are you reading things on magic and spells? I said, trying to understand it, trying to take the scariness out of it. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Sometimes we just need to have an awareness about it in order to change things and to take the stigma out of it. You know? So there needs to be just an awareness, a little bit of understanding. Oh, this is how it works. Well, I could shift the energy this way and that way and that way. And it takes the stigma out of it too, So that was a teaching moment for me. Why am I buying into this negativity? What can I do to change it? What else is possible here, universe? Now, owls can also represent wisdom. They're not just something bad. The goddess Athena used to wear an owl on her shoulder for her to be able to see the whole truth. So they're not always just bad. Well, I'm talking to somebody else that believes that they represent death. Ravens and crows represent death, but ravens can represent the magic in life. whether good or bad magic, okay? But it can represent magic and telling you to get in touch with the magic or life. Crows um, are believed to carry some of the laws of the universe. Some other Indian tribes would believe that crows were an omen of death also. And ravens are so intelligent. They there's a video, I think it's on YouTube. They taught a raven 7 different steps to do something. They taught it to them individually. So then they put all 7 of them together, and the raven had to figure out how to use each one to move to the next step. Figured it all out in 15 minutes. Got through everything in 15 minutes. And the researchers freaked out because they were so intelligent. Because he was able to work out the problem in 15 minutes. So it's we think we're the only intelligence out there. And like parrots, how many people have parrots that can speak 800 to 1,000 words? Like that gorilla that died a few years ago. She was able to do sign language and understand. We're not the only intelligence. And animals have more love and compassion than we do. And it's kind of interesting because the more we evolve, the more the animals are evolving also. So it's yeah. She gives responses, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Well, that's like a herd of elephants. There was a man that had an animal rescue in South Africa. He rescued 2 separate different herds, and they used to come and visit him. Well, the day he died, they knew that both herds were at 2 different ends of the reserve. Okay? They all showed up within hours of themselves, of each other. Okay? In order to honor this man that rescued them. They stayed around for 2 days, and then they left. They just both showed up, and both herds. Just awesome. And there's no other animal on the earth that's more loving and compassionate and caring than an elephant. So now the day leads into nightfall. You're not here to get me through it all. Okay, my phone is broke. So yeah. So there's an intelligence out there that connects us all. And how many dolphins are going out, or whales that are showing up at divers asking them to take nets and stuff off of them? Text message. He left me a message. Oh. So yeah. The whales have come up and looked somebody eye to eye and asked them to take the fishing nets off of them or the hook out of their fin. they seem to know what they need to know, where to go to get help. There's communication out there. And I'm happy you have a bird. I have a little pug that's 12 years old, and she's a character. She's got selective hearing at the moment. She's getting older, and I thought she was losing her hearing, but I whispered to her the other day, "You want to go bye-bye?" Boy, she was up running around. Oh, pugs are a whole different species. I think they're part cat and dog. I think they're part cat and dog. Yeah. Okay, ladies, I guess we'll wrap it up for the night. I'm just rambling and talking. If you guys would message me and let me know some topics that you guys would like to learn or talk about, okay? That would kind of give me a heads up. I know somebody had asked me about twin flames. That's why I was doing some research. I never had any idea about twin flames until this guy came into my life 4 years ago. And yeah, this, like I said, it's Twin Flames 111 or 1111, I should say, .com. She has a free video. She'll send you a free package, and it's got 2 videos in there for clearing energy between you two. And she's got some information on the runner chaser paradigm also. Okay. And I do think they are this pug. When you scratch her, she purrs. She jumps up like a cat too. She may be 12 years old, but this dog can still jump, and she can catch a mouse faster than a cat can. So I think they're part cat. And if anybody could have did that, it would have been the Chinese, I think. She's laying at my feet snoring now. Okay, so if you guys have no more questions tonight, like I said, message me. Let me know what you guys want to learn. Give me an idea of what topics to talk about, because I had several people request for me to do spiritual talks on Friday nights, and now I'm doing them, and I get some topics, and then we run out of things to say. So okay, I will probably, if I don't go to Greeley tomorrow, then I will probably come in tomorrow night and do readings and some more spiritual talk. It's interesting because, yeah, it was nice chatting to you too, Peaceful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for contributing to the night. It helps a lot. Instead of me just talking and talking, I don't know what you guys need, what you guys want to learn if we don't interact. Okay? So everybody have a good night. Okay? Have an awesome week, and namaste.